this position. So when I walk around and they ask me, what do I do? I'm just on the streets someplace. They say, what do you do? And I say, I'm a state assemblyman. They say, oh, that's really cool. What do you assemble for the state? Right? There's no glory in political office whatsoever, but I ran and I became an elected official, a state assemblyman, so I can actually fight for these things that I know make common sense, right? To stop these crazy tax increases, to stop these crazy laws. Just last couple weeks, they passed a couple of laws. How about this one? It is now no longer a felony to knowingly transmit AIDS to another person in California. It's a misdemeanor. It's a slap on the wrist for giving somebody else a life-threatening illness intentionally. They also passed another law for legalized heroin injection centers in California in your community. This is the sort of thing that I fought with for the last 5 years. I voted no on every terrible piece of legislation. I voted against every single tax increase, every single fee increase, everything that Jerry Brown and his cronies could cook up, I have fought. But you know what? I got in this because I believe that California is worth saving. And I believe that one person could truly save California. And that's what I fought for the last 5 years. After 5 years of sitting in the California legislature, I now know conclusively that all my national buddies were right when I originally ran. That Travis, all you're going to do in the legislature is bang your head against the wall. You're never going to be able to substantively affect California. So there's only one answer. The only answer is if we want to save California, if we want to restore that California dream, we got to take the whole state back. We have to change California fundamentally, change it back to the great state that it once was and will be once again. California is the greatest state in the nation. We are going to take our state back, and that is why I am running to be your next governor of the state of California. So my story in politics starts out simply enough. Look, I never wanted to be a politician. This was never my goal. It was never my aspiration at all. I just wanted to make a little bit of money, do well for people, and travel, and I've done a bit of that. But when I looked around, I saw that everyone else had left, and I saw the state was doing terribly. I thought, look, you know what? Why are these guys such idiots? Why can't they just, maybe if you cut people's taxes and put just a little bit more money back in their pockets, or let them keep their money, because it's their money after all, they're going to know how better to spend it than the government, whether it's the state government or the federal government, right? This is the exact opposite of what Gavin Newsom and Jerry Brown and Bernie Sanders believe. They want you to have this single-payer health care. They want you to have to go to the DMV to see your doctor, right? A plan like this would cost $400 billion every single year. That would break the state of California in the first 6 months. So I ran for office because I thought that one person could change everything. And I still believe that today. After 5 years with a 100% vote record on every single issue you care about, I still have that same fire, and it burns brighter than ever. There is a silent supermajority in California that every day screams at their radio when they're driving down the road, that every night screams at their TV set because of all the insanity that's going on. Raise your hand if you're with me. I mean, do you see this stuff, right? Everybody, right? You know it. That's why you're here. Look, how many times have you been stuck in a conversation with your nice neighbor, your nice coworker, your nice family friend, and they're a Democrat, they're a dyed-in-the-wool liberal, and they are telling you how crazy you are. They're trying to tell you all sorts of things that aren't true, and oh, by the way, they're telling you you're in the vast minority and you will never win in this state. You might as well pack it up and go someplace else. You ever heard this? Ever had this conversation? Right? Right? We all have. And they're nice people, but they're wrong. They're not just a little bit wrong. Single news media outlet, if you would have believed them, you would be absolutely convinced that what they said was true. That Republicans in the United States were dead. They were done. They were finished. This party's over. You know what the articles just came out? The articles just came out just last week that the Democrat Party is now dead. It's finished. It's over. Pack it up and go home. We sent Hillary to pack it. How fast did this turn? It turned in 12 months. How did this guy that was never going to win the presidency of the United States, this guy who was a loudmouth that some people absolutely hate and some people think is phenomenal, but a controversial figure nonetheless, that had no chance in anyone's book, even most Republicans. Raise your hand if you voted and supported for our Republican nominee, our president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Ow!
Come on.
Amen. Amen, amen, amen.
There is one candidate in this race for governor. Of all the
Go
Democrats
Trump.
and the 2 Republicans are in the race. 6 people total in the race right now. There's only one who actually supported the Republican nominee for president. And you're looking at him. His name is Travis Allen, just standing right in front of you.
Did you like that paint?
I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I just don't understand how you can run to be the Republican nominee for the next governor of the state of California, and you don't even vote for the Republican nominee for president. I mean, doesn't everybody know that if you didn't vote for Trump, you voted for Hillary? I don't care whoever else you voted for. If you didn't vote for Trump, that was an automatic vote for Hillary. There's another guy or another Republican in the race right now to be the next governor of the state of California. He's only lived here for 6 years. He's from Chicago. His best idea is to take the California legislature, all those politicians, from 120 of them, he wants 12,000 legislators in California. Oh yeah, and by the way, he voted for Gary Johnson in the latest presidential race. Think about this for a second. Why did we lose the governor's race in 2014? Maybe because the nominee of the Republicans, Neil Kashkari, was the worst possible candidate we ever could have fielded. He was an investment banker that was famous for 2 things. He did TARP. Not exactly the most popular thing in the world. Oh yeah, and by the way, he slept homeless right here in Fresno for a week. This was the best that we had. And guess what? He voted for Obama. How, as a Republican, do you support a governor who can't even support your own party in the presidential election? Neil Kashkari lost this race because 10 million Californians that could have voted for him stayed home and didn't even show up to vote. Because why are you going to vote for somebody that at the first sign of any trouble runs the other way? We don't need another Arnold Schwarzenegger in the state of California, do we? Do we? Arnold's a great guy. Look, you know, I love the Terminator movies, I love the Conan movies, but the problem is that unlike Ronald Reagan, they were both actors, unlike Reagan, Schwarzenegger didn't come to office with a hardcore political ideology, something that was just founded in his spine, where he knew why he was there. This is why he got turned around so quickly. I'm sure he had great intentions. The problem is when he did all his initiatives and he got beaten so badly in the polls, remember, he got beaten because the unions had to mortgage their buildings to fight him. When he lost, he went home. And what was waiting for him at home? A Democrat. And that was the last we ever saw of him. All he needed to do was understand this is like a boxing match. Or if you're one of these millennials, it's an MMA match, right? There's 10 rounds. You keep on coming back round after round after round. You don't stop the very first time and throw up your hands and say, oh, this is too hard, we're going home. You need someone to run the state who is willing to bring water back to the Central Valley and fight everybody who wants to stop that. Guys, this is so simple. I've been in politics now for 5 years. I have seen behind the curtain. I have watched as they make the sausage. And let me tell you, they do it in dark, smoke-filled rooms. These are all backroom deals. Jerry Brown just raised the largest gas tax in California's history. 12 cents per gallon of gas, 20 cents per gallon of diesel, plus another 4% of the sales tax of diesel. And starting on November 1st, your car registration goes up by up to $175 a year. That means every time you go to fill up your tank, it's an extra $2.50 out of your pocket. 20-gallon tank of gas, $2.50 every time you fill up. Starting in January, another $175 out of your pocket every single year. 1 in 5 Californians now live below the poverty line. 20% of our state is in poverty. And he wants to charge them an extra $2.50 every time they go to fill up their tank. What about the single mother who's working 2 jobs just to put her kids through school and put food on the table? What about all these people that have to commute back and forth to work? What about all them? And oh, by the way, not $1 of Jerry Brown's $54 billion tax that you never voted for, not $1 will go to build any new lanes anywhere in California. So if you don't like the traffic you have today, you're going to like it even less after November 1st when you're paying $54 billion more for it. and there's no new lanes on any freeways anywhere in California. Do we like Jerry Brown?
No.
Did Jerry Brown lie to us?
Yes.
Did Jerry Brown make a promise when he ran in 2010? And that promise was very simple. No new taxes without voter approval.
That's what liberals do.
Right? Do we remember this? That's how he got elected. That's how he got all those swing voters to vote for him. Fiscally moderate Jerry Brown, everybody's grandfather. The Ronald Reagan of the Democrats, right? Let me tell you how fiscally moderate Jerry Brown is. Jerry Brown, when he first got elected in 2010, took the state's general fund from $86 billion to over $125 billion today. That's an increase of $39 billion, almost 50% in 7 years. Does that sound fiscally moderate to you? Jerry Brown has never seen a tax or a fee increase he did not like. He even signed that minimum wage going up to $15 an hour and said, this is probably a terrible idea, but I'm going to sign it anyway. Jerry Brown never should have been in office. He was elected when he was a 36-year-old punk. And the only reason he was elected is because his dad was the former governor of the state of California. The first time he was elected in California, he allowed California government workers to unionize. And now California public government unions.
That's one of the worst things, guys. Government unions, one of the worst things.
Dollars. Because remember, all of those government salaries, average California government worker makes 50% more than the average private sector worker today. And of course, they have lifetime health. They have lifetime pensions. Your money pays those salaries, and it also pays those union dues, 99% of which get fed right back to Democrat politicians like Jerry Brown. Are we sick of this? Yes. Are we tired of this?
Yep.
Is it time that we take our state back from these special interests that are trying to bully their way through and take our state? Yes. Are we all still here? Yes. All right, do we want to stay here? Raise your hand if you know anybody who's left the state of California. Okay, raise your hand if you ever thought about leaving the state yourself. That's the problem. Look, I want to make this a state where my parents come back, where my brother comes back, where my clients come back, where my best friend moves back to Texas because he says, you know what? The weather sucks over here. I want to come back to California where all I got to worry about is a couple earthquakes, but it's sunny all the time and beautiful. Right? Is that such a bad thing? No, of course it's not. Who here has Facebook? Raise your hand. Who here is following me at jointravisallen.com or Join Travis Allen on Facebook? Who here is going to follow me at Join Travis Allen? We have built up the largest social media following of any Republican in the state of California, almost 350,000 followers, reaching 1 million to 3 million people per week. I'm doing an average of 25 media appearances somewhere in the state of California every single week. News, TV, radio, print, whatever it happens to be, I am up and down the state. I have fought for every issue that you care about, but you know what? A couple months ago when I was on the legislative floor, and I had to watch as Jerry Brown rammed through the largest gas tax increase in California's history without a vote of the people, in a deal that was done out of your sight, in a back room that was filled with smoke. He bribed 4 legislators $1 billion of your money to pass the largest gas tax increase in California's history. Bribed 4 legislators $1 billion to $54 billion.
That was Ryan, by the way, who cussed right now.
Is this the California that we want?
No.
Just in case you were wondering if it was me.
Approval? Where's our taxation with representation, right? Yeah. Where is it? It's being bought off. And you know what? I sat there on the assembly floor. I had voted no on this. I had made speeches. My social media videos have been seen by millions of people. I'd gotten media up and down the state, but it didn't matter. None of it mattered. I pressed that red button on my desk so many times in the legislature that 6 months ago, literally, the button flew off of my desk when I hit it. No joke. It didn't matter. He steamrolled me. He steamrolled all of you. And I sat there on the assembly floor and I said, you know what? Maybe Jerry Brown can beat me and beat all of you as a legislator. But you know what? He can't beat any of us as a California citizen. I picked up my telephone. I called my attorney and I said, write 5 words. The following code sections are repealed. We struck out 37 pages of Jerry Brown's SB1 tax increase. I took $2,000 out of my own pocket. I walked it down to the Attorney General, and I filed the ballot initiative to repeal the gas tax, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Because you see, see, as I told you in the beginning, I believe that one person can change California, and I'm a fighter. I'm the kind of guy that you want on your side on any firefight because I never stop. Because I'm here to win. I don't believe in any of this talk the Republicans are done. I believe Trump was going to win the race. Because you know what? He just spoke common sense to the common people. All we need in California is some common sense. This ballot initiative, 65 days later after I filed, the Attorney General came back with his title and summary. It should have said 4 words. Repeal the gas tax, right? That was it. That's all it was. Instead, he came back with the title and summary, did not even mention the word tax or fee in the title. Plainly and clearly, he was trying to lie to the California people. He was trying to mislead the California people so you wouldn't know that this was the repeal of the gas tax. Did I sit there and take it? Did I sit there and take it? No. Did I take my ball and go home and say, sorry guys, we tried, that was it, you know, they beat us? Heck no, I picked up my phone, I called my attorney, I said, we're going to sue the Attorney General in Superior Court of California. We just sued him, we just won. And this gas tax that has a title and summary that is written in plain English, it says it is going to repeal the gas taxes and those brand new car registration fees. Let's hear it for the courts actually siding with the people of California.
Totally agree. That's going to be my question.
Look, this judge is incredible, but the bottom line is this judge just was doing his job. He read the law and the Constitution is clear. The Attorney General has a job to do, to provide a fair and impartial, common sense, plain English language, title and summary, which tells the truth to the California voters so they know what they're voting on. And it doesn't try to sway them one way or another. But you see, the problem is that in California, you have corruption that goes to the very top.
Right.
Jerry Brown and his cronies, running out of San Francisco, have been running the state for decades. You don't believe me? Jerry Brown, Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein, Gavin Newsom, Willie Brown. The list goes on and on and on. All of them from the Bay Area of San Francisco, running the state of California. Any of these people from the Central Valley?
Nope.
Not a one of them. Do you have enough water here in the Central Valley?
Nope.
Well, they got plenty of it up in San Francisco. That's where it all washes out under the Golden Gate Bridge. Are we tired of that?
Yes.
Is it about time we build storage projects up and down the state of California? We don't got to steal Northern California's water. We don't have to drain the Delta. We need water storage right here. Is it about time we build temperance flats?
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Is it about time the Central Valley has the water that it finally needs so we can double, triple our agricultural output? Is it about time we get the Central Valley working and growing food again? Yes! Guys, who doesn't like fresh food? It comes from right here. Make no mistake. All you gotta do, that market, thanks. All you gotta do is turn the water on. And literally, this is money. Water is money. You put it in the ground, the crops come up, you make money. The farmers make money, the people get great food. And guess what? You get full employment again. You don't need a bullet train to nowhere that no Californians will ever ride, that nobody wants. You need water! There is one person in the race that's talking about Central Valley water that's actually going to do something about it. It ain't going to be Gavin Newsom, bought and paid for by the Sierra Club. You know what? I actually used to be a Sierra Club member. You know when I stopped? I gave them $25 a year or something like this. I stopped when they sent me an email saying, vote for Barack Obama. I said, wait a second, what the heck does that have to do with being nice to trees and loving the environment? Right? This is a straight up political message. This is what they've turned into. The Sierra Club was started by Republicans, but all these institutions, these extreme environmentalists have been taken over by people that don't want to build anything anywhere. They think people are the enemy of everything that's good and right in this world. That's why they want to steal your water. It's not about a 1-inch bait fish in the Delta. It's not about the Delta smell. It is because they don't want you living in a nice home, growing your crops. They want you to live in these tight little cities. They want to take away your cars. A legislator just came out, I think it was just this morning, wrote a law. He wants to get every single gas and diesel car off the road by 2040. He wants to ban every gas car by 2040. Where are they going to get their gas taxes from? Right? I don't know. Where are they going to tax next? So listen. One person changes everything in California. I wrote this for people the gas tax. I'm giving the ability to stop this tax. I'm giving the people of California the ability and the right to decide if they want to raise their taxes. But I'll tell you this, plainly and simply. If you're going to raise my taxes, you better show me something for it. Yeah. If you're going to raise my taxes because you're actually going to expand our freeways in California so we can get out of the worst of the nation traffic, you know what, maybe I'll listen to you. But when we're already paying the highest taxes, among the highest taxes in the nation, when our gas is second in price only to Hawaii because they got to ship it in over there, there is a problem here. We are sitting on an ocean of oil and gas. California has more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia. Think about this. Who does the state of California belong to?
The people.
The people.
It belongs to us. It belongs to the citizens of California. Right, this is your oil and gas. Trillions of dollars that sit below your feet as we speak right now. And why shouldn't we be using it? We import 70% of our oil and gas. We should be using 100% of ours. We have so much that we would be entirely energy independent, trillions of dollars worth. Think of the stimulation that we could give this local economy, right? Trillions and trillions of dollars of oil and gas. We're totally energy independent. We would have the lowest gas prices in the nation, and you better believe we would be exporting it to everybody else as opposed to paying these Middle East nations that all they want to do is send a rocket our way or on our friends' houses, right? Right? Come on. This is our state.
That's right.
Jerry Brown and the Democrats want to tell you that you live in a state of scarcity, that you don't have enough and it's only going to get worse. Taxes are only going to get higher. Things are only going to get worse. There's not enough water. There's not enough oil and gas. There's just not enough space in California. There's not enough of anything. These guys are not just wrong. They are completely wrong. California is the greatest state in the nation. Say it with me. California is the greatest state in the nation. Young man, when were you born? Right here, right in the front. When were you born? 1920. Where were you born? Whittier, California. Let's hear it for someone who's 89 years old in California. You know this state has enough of everything you could ever possibly need and want in this life?
Absolutely fantastic.
You better believe it. Look, there's one guy in this race that wants to deliver that for you. And let me tell you, the governor of the state of California has all the tools to do it. You see, this is what the Democrats forget. In their arrogance, they think they're going to control this office forever. So what do? They imbue it with this incredible power. The governor of the state of California vetoes any bad legislation. Number one. What do we start with? We start with getting rid of AB 109, Prop 57, and Prop 47. Right? It's about time to get tough on our crime again in California. Keep in mind, California's had declining crime for the last 2 decades or more because of the 3 strikes law. But unfortunately, since AB 109, 57, and 47, that's the early release of criminals, they're not serving their time anymore and taking felonies and turning them into misdemeanors, putting more criminals on our streets. In the last 3 years, we've had violent crime increase by over 15% in California. Last year alone, over 34 cities of our major cities in California had double-digit increases in violent crime due to these laws. We got to repeal AB 109. We got to repeal Prop 57. We got to repeal Prop 47. We have to make California safe again. Does that sound about right? So number one, the governor vetoes AB 109 when it comes across his desk. That's what the real governor would have done for you. Number two, the governor has line item veto power. We have the ability as the next governor of the state of California to cut away all of these ridiculous expenditures. Jerry Brown wants money to fix our potholes on our roads, the second worst roads in the nation, right? He doesn't want it to expand freeways so we're not stuck in the worst of nation traffic. But let's say some of this money actually goes to roads. As SB 1's written right now, only 70% of the money would go to transit projects, which means that not all that, even of the 70% is going to go to roads. It's also going to go to bike lanes and all kinds of other stuff. You see, because cooked into this law is a regulation for Caltrans that no new lanes are built anywhere in California because they want you off of the road. Think about this. Caltrans is an $11 billion a year agency. $11 billion. This gas tax is going to raise over $5 billion. Why don't you just whack $5 billion off Caltrans' budget, because you know they're not building anything anyway in California, right. And you got all the money you need right there to build the roads again in California. How's that for an idea? Line item veto power gives you that discretion. The Legislative Analyst Office in 2014 came out with a report. They said that there's an extra 3,500 jobs in Caltrans that are completely unnecessary. They're costing you, the taxpayer, over $500 million a year. Since 2011, Jerry Brown has siphoned off $1.1 billion of transportation funding and sent it from where it belonged on the roads and sent it over to the general fund. General fund Jerry, spending more of your money. We have all the money we could ever need. We don't have to raise our taxes. And the next governor of the state of California, when he is Travis Allen, will use that line item power to make sure that your money gets spent the right way. But what about, well, I'll take that. Now, what about Arnold's mistake? Arnold's mistake was not that he fought for us. Arnold's mistake was not that he took the vote directly to the people. Arnold's mistake is that he only fought one round. All he had to do was take his own advice from his own movie, and all he had to do was say and actually follow through, I'll be back, right? But he never came back. That's all he had to do. The governor could call a special election anytime the governor wants to, and can put any issue in front of the people as a ballot initiative at any time. A real governor of the state of California brings you back all of these soft on crime laws, AB 109, Prop 47, Prop 57. You don't send them to the Democrat legislature. You bring them directly to the people of California. You take among the nation's highest tax rates. You bring those directly to the people of California, and you say job number one is to cut your taxes, vote on it. And job number two is to get tough on crime again in California, keep our communities safe. How would you like the opportunity to vote for that on your ballot and get rid of all these politicians in Sacramento that are selling you down the river? Guys, a brand new governor in the state of California changes everything in the state. Absolutely everything. Is it a long shot? Well, you know, we got a tough road to go. Is it impossible? No, absolutely not. In 2014, Jerry Brown ran for governor, right? And he won. He was the Ronald Reagan of the Democrats. He won with 4.3 million votes. How many votes did Donald Trump just get in November last year in California? 4.4 million votes. All you got to do is turn out the Trump voters and you beat Jerry Brown and Gavin Newsom. Do you think we can do it? The next Democrat you talk to says you can't win. There are more of us than there are of them. The LA Times did a study 2 years ago. They found that there's more Republicans elected in the state of California than Democrats. I'll tell you this again. The LA Times conclusively found there's more Republicans in the state of California than Democrats. How so? Well, you see, most offices in California are nonpartisan. Once you get past the governor and the legislative level, everything, whether it's county supervisor, city councilman, dog catcher, vector control, school board, you name it, these are all nonpartisan offices. But you know what? There's more Republicans there than there are Democrats. Because our candidates are real people that have real common sense values. And you know what? When you strip off that label and you bring these real issues to the people of California, they vote overwhelmingly for Republicans. The numbers are already there. We already have the silent supermajority. This is how we win. Come on. Jerry Brown in 2014 got 4.3 million votes. Neil Kashkari, probably the worst candidate that we could have fielded, that slept homeless for a week here in your beautiful town of Fresno, got 2.9 million votes. He lost by 1.4 million votes. I'm a numbers guy, right? I'm an investment guy. Let me tell you what this means. 1.4 million votes. That means that if only half of that number, 700,000, had voted the other way, he flipped their vote, 700,000, Neil Kashkari, this no-name Republican, would have been the next governor of the state of California when Barack Obama was in the White House. Think about this. 700,000 votes was all that he needed to switch to win. That's 2% of the state's population. 2%! 10 million Californians that could have voted didn't even show up to vote. This is the thread by which the domination of the Democrats in California hangs. It is the thinnest thread you've ever seen. We're going to chop it right off, and you will have a new governor in California in 2018. You're going to wake up in June 2018. You're going to open up your paper. Fresno Bee, right? It's your local paper?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For the time being.
It doesn't matter what paper you got in California. You're going to wake up and the headline's going to read as you pick it up off your doorstep. Travis Allen challenges Gavin Newsom to be the next governor of the state of California. When you read that title, you're going to read the byline, and it's going to say polling has them within high single digits, low double digits of each other. This is actually a close race. And when you see that number, this becomes the hottest race in the United States. Once everyone around the United States understands that California actually has the ability and the opportunity to elect a Republican governor, this race becomes the hottest race in the United States, and this is a race that we will win. Gavin Newsom has $16 million. He is tall, he's articulate, he's handsome. He's wrong on every single major issue that confronts California. The issues are very simple. Number one, we have to cut taxes. Number two, we have to get tough on crime so our communities are safe once again. Number three, we have to fix our roads and expand our freeways so we're not stuck in the nation's worst in the nation traffic. Number four, we must make California schools, once again, the greatest schools in the nation. We have to fire bad teachers, and we must give parents the ability to send their kids to the very best schools that they choose. No more schools where their kids are subject to dropout rates, high drug use, bullying, gangs, teen pregnancy, all the terrible stuff that comes with bad schools that are protected by the California Teachers Union. Our education system in California has one goal: the education of our children. Right? One goal. California Teachers Union spends $200 million of your tax dollars every single election cycle to defend bureaucrats and teachers at the expense of our kids. Look, teachers are great people. I want them to be there. I want the great teachers to get paid extremely well. But you know what? If you're a bad teacher, you're no longer in a job in California. If you're running a failing school, we are going to clean this school out. I don't care whether it's a public school and charter school. We will give parents in California the ability to send their kids to the very best school. I just got married last September. First time ever. I have a gorgeous wife. When I got married, I acquired a beautiful 8-year-old daughter in the deal. I'm a good negotiator. My 8-year-old daughter, as we speak, sits in public school right now. She's in a full immersion Spanish school right now. She has learned Spanish, she's learning, she's bright as can be. I want to make sure she is at the best possible school, and every other kid is at the best possible school. My wife is now 8 months pregnant. In November, we're expecting another baby. And I want that baby going to public school in California. It's my right. It's your right. It's your money. Shouldn't this money be spent on the best possible education for our children? We were once the best in the nation. We will be again. Once you get a champion that'll stand at the teachers union and tell them clearly in a clear voice, education is for our kids first and foremost. And if you don't believe that, we're going to sweep you right out of the way. What do you say? Issue number 5, near and dear to our hearts right here. California must complete the state water project. California has to have water flowing in the north of California, in the middle of California, right here in the Central Valley, and all through Southern California. And how are we going to do it? We are going to build water storage up and down the state of California. We are going to beat all these extreme environmentalists in court. We will make sure that California, once again, has enough water for the Central Valley and everywhere in California. We have more than enough. It's about time we store it. What do you say? Listen, all California needs is a champion. All California needs is someone who's actually willing to fight these fights, that doesn't talk out of both sides of their mouth, that tells you the truth straight on. We had a president, actually a guy that was running president who now is a president. You might not have always agreed with him, but you know what? You always knew exactly what he felt because he wasn't a politician. He just told you how it was. California needs a real dose of common sense. California needs somebody that actually stands for what he believes in and is willing to fight and has a track record of not only fighting, but winning. And that is why we win. Think about this. Don't you think it's about time that California follows federal immigration law.
Amen. Put him in jail.
Immigration is a federal issue per the Constitution. This sanctuary state nonsense, where your taxpayer dollars are going to fund people who are not in our state legally, who are committing crimes while they are here. $50 million of your money in the governor's latest budget will defend people who are in our state illegally committing crimes while they are here. That is a crime, and that will end under Governor Travis Allen.
He said it. That's a crime, guys. He said it. That's a crime, guys. Why are they not in jail? We got to put these guys in jail.
I've already done. I wrote a law earlier this year that would have defunded every single sanctuary city, every single sanctuary jurisdiction up and down the state of California, including any jurisdiction that even had sanctuary policies. They will no longer get state money. I wrote another law that if you want to vote in the state of California, you better have an ID.
No freaking brainer, guys.
Hey guys, this isn't a money issue. In my law, I said, look, if you don't have the money, we'll pay for your ID, but you've got to be a California citizen. This is our most sacred right as citizens of California. I wrote another law. What about all this voter fraud? You listen to Alex Padilla, the Democrat Secretary of State. Oh, there's nothing to see here. Keep on moving along. Look, Willie Brown and the Democrats out of the Bay Area have been cooking elections for decades now. How do you think they win this stuff? Yeah. They cheat. If they told you the truth about what they wanted, we'd never vote for this stuff, right?
It's true.
You guys remember Prop 30, the temporary tax to fund education, right? This tax was neither temporary, nor did all the money go to education, right? Jerry Brett said, oh, it's for the kids. Only 50% of that money ever went to education. The rest of it went to the general fund. Think about this. The only way they win is by lying and cheating. Right. There is a silent supermajority in California that is waking up. It just woke up and realized, you know what? We got together. We elected a brand new president when no one said we could do it. No one says we're going to take back our state. We're going to take back our state in Travis Allen, and it's 2018 and it's going to happen. We got a guy on the Democrat side. His name's Gavin Newsom. $16 million in the bank. Backed by the California Nurses Union. What's their #1 issue? It's Bernie Sanders and Medicare for all. I don't know about you, but when I go to the doctor, I don't want to have to take a number from the DMV. Right?
That's right.
California will never be a single-payer state. California will never be a sanctuary state. If you want to vote in California, you better be a citizen and you better have an ID. Last year, I wrote a law. I said, let's take all the voter rolls in California from up and down the state. Let's send them to a centralized anonymous database that is used by something like 15 or 18 different states around the country. Let's clean out our voter rolls for all the dead and deceased voters in California.
That's right.
And let's get these guys off the rolls. It's okay, you can clap. That's a good thing. Go ahead. There's real voter fraud here. Judicial Watch came out about a month ago. They found there's 11 counties in California, 11 counties, where there are more voters than there are adults of voting age.
Yeah.
Think about this. How is that possible to have more voters than citizens of voting age? It's because they're lying to you. Someone is cooking the books in California. It's Jerry Brown, it's Gavin Newsom, it's the Democrats. We will get honesty once more again in California because you know what? Look, all California needs is some balance. When I first got elected in 2012, it was the worst time for Republicans since the 1880s. We had more Democrats in office than any time in the last 130 years. Think about this. Because they've been cooking the books on us. Because Republicans had lost all hope. They believed, why should we even fight anymore? We can't win in the state. Well, you know what? That's what they told us in the United States. Did we believe them?
No.
Did we believe them?
Nope.
So we got a brand new president of the United States. People stood up and voted and were heard. In 2018, you are standing, you are sitting, I am standing. where it all starts. It starts right here in the Central Valley. It starts right in your living room, in your home. I don't care whether you live in the Central Valley, in San Diego, in Eureka, California. It starts in the middle of the Bay Area where there's only 8% Republicans, but there's a ton of Californians that are sick and tired of never being heard. It starts up and down the state in English and in Spanish. Yo hablo español entero. To tell every single Californian that if you are a citizen, this is your state. This state belongs to you. We will no longer raise your taxes without your voice. We will get tough on crime. We will store our water so we got plenty of water for the Central Valley and across the state. We're going to have the best education system in the nation. We will be the best state for business in the entire country. No longer will companies go to Texas. The weather's terrible over there. They're going to stay right here in California. And we will take back our state. Thank you so very much.